Hello everyone, welcome along to the GKA World Tour, and we have Hydrofoil Big Air competition for you. We had round 3, heat number 1 yesterday afternoon, and we on the water is heat number 2 of round 3. So you haven't missed anything, just by the dint of how many competitors we have in in rounds number 1 and rounds number 2. We've progressed straight through to rounds number 3. My name is Ben Costangeris. I've got Liam Dredge alongside me. Scores are a little behind from where we are at in reality. They've already seen 2 attempts from each of our athletes. They get 7 with 3 to count.
Yeah, 7 trick attempts, 3 to count. And like you said, we're now kicking things off in round number 3. The reason being, it's been a bit of a patience game, hasn't it, Ben? I mean, we've been waiting and waiting for the wind to kick in. I mean, it is extremely light out there still. Despite this being for the hydrofoils themselves, it is still on the lighter side. However, we are seeing some scores be thrown down. There we have Hugo Wigglesworth in the yellow light grey. He's coming off the win in silt, so currently leading the rankings, Hugo, as it looks like he's going to be going for his 2nd trick attempt. Coming in right foot forward, plenty of speed, and goes up for the front roll, looking like he wanted to take the board off, but not managing to do so. So sort of going into a tornado effect as he comes in for what looked to be a smooth landing there.
Wigglesworth, our tour leader, and we've got quite a few interesting names in this competition. Last evening, in maybe 6 or 7 knots of wind, we saw Leonardo Casati take the victory in round 3, heat number 1. He ended up with a score just shy of 20 points in total for his 3 attempts. Lucas Halverson was 2nd, which means we already eliminated 2 athletes in yesterday afternoon's first heat. It was right at the end of the day. It was more of a test than anything else because the wind was so light, and Hugo Wigglesworth's score a 5.2. Now, that's for his front roll, which was his trick number 1. You've just seen trick number 2. So the internet has to compute all of the numbers that get given by the judges. That has to then spit it out to the world, including the big screens that our athletes are seeing on the beach and you at home on our website, and then we'll get the scores. But we are waiting for Lorenzo Casati, his brother, already through to the next round. And Lorenzo in the red, as you can see from the colours in the top left of your screen, and goes for a trick.
Yeah, again, front roll. Nothing other than a front roll, but I think maybe 5 odd rotations there. Pretty much back up onto the foil. So let's just touch base on the judging criteria a little bit, because, I mean, it is going to vary considering the conditions that we are seeing. I mean, the discipline itself is called Hydrofoil Big Air, but as some of you might know at home, Big Air, tends to be in slightly stronger conditions than what we're seeing. So I expect to see more air-style tricks. So what does that mean? Most likely we're not going to see any kite loops in this wind, mainly because they're riding big kites. Those kites turn a lot slower. We're seeing a lot of foil kites being used as well, and more air style. So like we just saw there, those sort of tornado spins, probably a lot of board offs, tic tacs. We saw the woman yesterday evening do a lot of 1 foot. So expecting to see a very technical display of action in this afternoon. Just fingers crossed that either the wind stays with us for a couple of hours or does just get a little bit stronger.
Just wondering whether we are holding for a second. We should be seeing Quince Radosky next. I can see Hugo Wigglesworth coming across the bay in front of us. There is Quincy, but taking his time to get up on the board. Maybe some consultation from our judges. They take their time to score before releasing the next athlete into the box. You've actually got Lorenzo Casati coming across the box as well. And so we've got 3 athletes in the box where really only 1 athlete should be doing a trick. And we're watching Quincy now struggling. We're still waiting on scores, but I think, as you can see, there is perhaps some technical issues at the moment. So let's have a look back at Green's first jump. This should be a front roll board off, his first of the competition.
Very nice. You can see there extending on the legs. That's what the judges want to see as well, showing a good amount of control and popping straight back onto the foil. When it comes to those board offs, you do really want to see the extension of the legs. It shows good control, not just getting your toes out from the straps, really taking that board away from your body.
And look how much speed he's able to build up incredible in what, 7 knots of wind?
Yeah.
And yet a nice trick. Difficult to get the landing, and unfortunately stalling out in the water there. They want to see you go back on the foil, the judges, with momentum. And so Quincy will be scored down there from slightly sinking.
Yeah, 100%. If you're going down to your bum, let's say, into the water by your hips, that the judges are going to deduct the score. Exactly the same trick as what we saw in his first attempt. The only difference was that he went back roll there rather than front roll. So he's now ticked another family. He's gone front roll board off. He's also gone back roll board off. So playing it smart, that's also part of the game in these lighter conditions. It's 7 trick attempts, 3 counting. As I see out of the corner of the window here, Hugo Wigglesworth going for one of his tricks. But we follow here Alexander Escobar. What a name.
So still waiting, actually, for the judges to decide on Quincy's score. So it was correct to be following Alejandro.
Yep.
With the Dubai flag to his name on the left-hand side. But I'm pretty sure I saw that he also is representing presumably Spain or something like that. And now he comes into the competition area. You must do your trick inside the 4 yellow marks. He whistles pretty much across the whole of the competition area. And up he goes.
Yeah, front roll, board off, and decides to just ditch that one. You know, when you take the board off, you definitely want enough time to be able to get it back underneath your feet. And clearly there for Alexander, not quite feeling in sync with that trick. So that will go down as a crash. And then we will follow your current tour leader, Hugo, for his next trick attempt. From New Zealand as well, Ben. Hugo's travelled quite a way.
I mean, extreme sports, capital of the world, isn't it? New Zealand, whether it be on the water or off it.
It's definitely got a lot to offer. Here we go, Hugo, left foot forwards. You can see directing that kite up to 12. Double back roll, board off. Going into multiple rotations there on the way down. And just trying to pump that board to get back up onto foil. So partly, you know, being in control, getting back up onto foil, you know, redirecting that kite and you're pumping with the legs. And you can see there, that's going to be quite a nice score from Hugo. He's got a 5.20 to open up his account. Probably expect something just shy around the 6s for that trick there.
3.17 coming up on the board for Quincy. Not entirely sure whether that was for, yes, it is for his last trick. So we are now waiting. Oh, we've got blue on the board. We've already seen blue do their trick, but that board is, I think, the truth. So here is Alejandro. Of course, Alejandro will see his blue on the board, so he will be steaming his way in.
Yeah, he went for the back roll board off last time, but wasn't able to keep in control with the board. So here we go again. I would put some money on him trying the same trick.
He's a bit. He misses.
He went for the front roll board off.
Misses the grip on the board for a second time in succession. And so that's 2 crashes to his name. Although, out the window from our commentary position, we've seen about 4 or 5 tricks from our athletes. How many of those are counting on the scoreboard isn't totally clear yet. We, in theory, go in sequence: green, blue, yellow, red. And so yellow with Hugo's next trick.
Yep, back roll board off with 2 rotations there. Nice and controlled.
And there we go. So he had another 10 seconds to go, but he's already done the trick within that 40-second window. We wait on the judges' scores. That big screen will say waiting on scores, and then it will show the countdown for red. So Lorenzo Casati needs to be making sure that he's paying half an eye. It does seem as though it's a little bit tricky to see the board for the athletes. They've got their hands up over their eyes. It's very, very bright here when the haze of the day disappears. And so now comes heading towards the competition area, which is obviously set in front of our judges. There you can see the 2 cabins, us on the right-hand side, the judges on the left.
And then again, front roll, double front roll with a board off, and also taking the board off by the back foot strap. Lorenzo very well-established rider. You know, has won King of the Air over in Cape Town. He's Big Air, currently Big Air, GKA Big Air World Champion as well. And he's also competing here in the Hydrofoil. He does the kite surf as well. So he pretty much does every tour that's on offer. Travels with his brother, Leonardo. And the pair of them, yeah, they've started to face each other in a few heats as well this year.
Back to green then. So I think this should be attempt number 3 or 4.
Yep, Quincy here, front roll. Oh, looking like he wanted the front roll with the 1 foot, but not able to get that back foot out the foot strap.
And even though it doesn't look like a conventional crash, that is, I imagine, classed as a crash. He's also gone and done another trick right in front of us. And he's really properly in the water now. But I don't know if that would have been counted, because you're only allowed 1 trick within the 40-second window. We
Correct.
saw him doing 1. So a 0 score. And now the blue timer begins. Now blue can go back in. So he's only got 1 score on the board, has Alejandro Escobar, because we've seen at least 2 crashes from him. And he has 40 seconds to do this. Remember, those 3 different scores in the top left-hand corner must be from 3 separate families. If you do end up doing a similar trick twice, you will either improve on your score or it won't count for anything. You don't have to do 3 separate families, and we did see with the women, some of them unable to find a 3rd family to score in. And here comes Alejandro. Oh, it goes for that board off again.
Yeah, looking like he wanted to put in a little board flip as well.
Oh, catch it first and then progress, no?
Easier said than done.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, especially in these lighter conditions. Becomes very, very technical.
Our leader then, Hugo Wigglesworth. Halfway through the 7 attempts. Oh, nice.
And you can see they're getting more height than what we've seen so far in this heat. Straight back up onto foil for Hugo.
Obviously, the trick is one thing, but landing it is another.
Yeah, you want to be clean landing, straight back up onto foil, riding out of it with showing good amounts of control. You know, part of it as well is you need to be riding out of the trick. You know, even if you do land it, you have to then successfully ride out of the trick itself. And now we go back over to Lorenzo. Here we go, coming into the box. You can see there just on the left-hand side. Plenty of speed here from Lorenzo Casati. Going his favoured left foot forward. Back roll with a board off by the back foot strap. And it just looked like there on the way down, he just slightly over-rotated. Maybe if he committed there, he would have got another rotation, but yeah, judge is going to deduct quite a hell of a lot of points there. Nice amount of height, though. You know, speed is definitely your friend. You want to be going into... there's no kickers either here, and that's worth noting. You know, when you have a little bit, let's say if you're out in the open ocean, you've got some sea swell and some waves, essentially you can use those as like a ramp, and it helps with gaining a little bit of height. Here, however, you know, it's pretty much as flat as it gets.
It's Lorenzo Casati with the best score at the moment for his front roll board off, a 6.90. And actually, Hugo Wigglesworth, as expected, gets an 8 for that previous trick. We now focus our attention back on Quincy Rudowski. And up in the air he goes. 1 foot. And after a couple of crashes, it's not the best of landings, not a huge amount of momentum, but I'm not sure the judges will call that a crash this time.
No, definitely not. No, he did end up like, although it wasn't, you know, straight back up onto the foil, and it wasn't short after until he was riding away from that one. So focus again now goes on to Alejandro Escobar. First time competing on the tour. Does help when it comes to your home country, let's say, as well. Here he comes in, right foot forward.
Starting to run out of attempts, though, with 3 crashes to his name. Only 3 more attempts to go. We'll want to score. This is an elimination round. We lose 3rd and 4th positions.
You see they're trying to get a bit more speed, a bit more momentum, you know, shifting his weight forward and back on the board, pumping the foil, redirects that kite up to 12 o'clock, going for, again, the front roll board off, which we've seen multiple times throughout this heat. Just about manages there to not avoid the crash, sorry. You can see at the start there of that landing, the nose of the board sort of going into the water, but good kite control shown there to stop the crash. And the scores there, you can see 19.23, that's for Hugo Wigglesworth. So that screen's really useful because it tells them, you know, it comes up with their color lycra, then it comes up with their score once completed there. You can see the 4.30, and then we go into the 40-second countdown for the next rider. It also tells them their overall heat score. So they get a bit of a good idea in where they're sitting, let's say, out of the four. The last thing they want to be doing is coming in to their caddies on the beach. So that sort of replaces the caddy, let's say.
Coming from looker's left across the beach. Left foot forward for Hugo Wigglesworth this time. Sailing away from the beach now, such as the wind direction.
Oof, snappy little finish there from Hugo with the back roll board off. Or double back roll, in fact. And then getting the board on and that tornado effect as well. You can see that it looked like he was running out of room on his way down, and he sort of brought the foil back up, you know, knees up to the chest, and able to complete that final rotation.
To Lorenzo Casati then. He's going to have to turn around as he gets to the edge of the competition area and go left foot forward with the kite skimming over the beach. His timer begins now. He may not have seen that though, because he is facing the opposite direction. But it looks like he may go for a trick. He needs a third score on the board here to get ahead of Quincy Radowski.
Yeah, if there's one person that knows how to, you know, tick the right families and put the right trick down in order to advance, it's this guy on your screen. So much competition experience.
So there's the score. And the trick completed for Lorenzo. We're going to go back to Quincy. Now, I've seen Quincy down on the beach side here,
yes,
struggling a little bit with his kite.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do a trick there.
But he needs to pay attention to the screen. And in the angle in which he is, the screen is literally the opposite side. I think that is Quincy, isn't it, with the white helmet?
Yeah, I mean, talk about making it confusing, guys. You know, two green lycras,
yeah,
white helmets.
Or is there another green out there? Hugo Wigglesworth in the yellows in the competition area.
That's
so is
not
Lorenzo.
what you want, though, on the left-hand side there. The old wet sleeping blanket. That's going to be an absolute nightmare to relaunch.
And unfortunately, slightly getting in the way if that is Quincy.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time he has left. We don't have the running clock. Yeah, 6 seconds. So he's going to be timed out, unfortunately, of this attempt. Just by sort of being on the beach and waiting around. And he's dropped from second to third because Lorenzo Casati has been scored with a 6.1. We're now going to switch our attention to Alejandro Escobar. And a costly error there from Quincy Radowski, stuck on the beach.
Yeah, that's going to be a shame. Especially when you're sitting in second, you've just popped down into third, and you've still got an attempt to go to try and get back on it. But Alejandro at the moment, this rider currently sitting at the bottom of the pecking order in this heat. And still, as you see, he's the only one without that third score either. So he needs to get another one on the board, but he's got a lot of work to do, to be honest, in order to give the likes of Hugo and Lorenzo a run for their money. But here we go. It's a back roll with the board off by the back foot strap and following up with a crash. So, current heat leader, Hugo Wigglesworth, winning this heat will advance straight through to round number 5. So we are in round number 3. You win the heat, you go to round number 5, essentially as the quarterfinals, let's say. And then the second place goes into round 4 to battle it out, whereas the last two, as we mentioned, unfortunately, call it quits, and that's the end of the road for them. And Hugo Wigglesworth showing nice variety here with the board off and their front rotations, plenty of skill there, knows exactly where his kite is throughout the whole move. And definitely the rider out there ticking that technicality box when it comes to multiple rotations in these lighter conditions.
Next athlete up, Lorenzo Casati in the red. Must be getting close to the end of this particular competition. And there is Casati's trick. Is he going to get his feet back on the board? He does.
Of course he is.
Lovely.
Yeah, very nice there. Again, similar to what we saw in Hugo's attempt on that one before. Looks like he's running out of time and then just manages to do it. As we follow Lorenzo, your current second place. Going straight over to Cape Town after this event. So goes from Abu Dhabi to Cape Town, and I imagine to train for the next competition.
Big air competition at the start of next year there?
Not with us, but they have the Red Bull King of the Air is the last event over in Cape Town. Quite a biggie for the big air riders. Seems to be the meeting point for everyone in the kitesurf industry, I would say, in the winter time. It's as good as it gets over there. Okay, so Quincy's got another chance. As he's coming in now into the box. So Quincy, back roll with the board off. Got to get it on his feet quickly.
And that was potentially his last opportunity to progress.
Yeah, that's going to go. That's definitely going to be a crash. You know it's light when someone like Quincy is struggling to get on the foil. You know, one of the younger, let's say, lighter riders in the competition. This is where gear choice comes in as well. You know, riding a slightly bigger foil kite, you know, maybe adapting the foil setup as well that you have. So Alejandro, still without that third trick. Needs it desperately. But the gap is getting longer and bigger. There we have Hugo, your current heat leader. But yeah, it looks like Alejandro has missed out on his go there. So Hugo now, 40 seconds on the clock. Here we go. Coming in left foot forward. Trying to go with speed. You can see now starting to direct that kite above him. Back roll. Showing nice technical there with the 1 foot. And just about saving it on the landing. And what does Lorenzo need now to advance into first place? It needs quite a relatively big score. Nothing that's unachievable though. So here we go, Lorenzo Casati now. Coming in plenty of speed here, right foot forwards. Nice extension when he's taking that board off, getting the board back on his feet as well. Did he crash there? Yes, he did. So an unlikely crash there from Lorenzo. And just seeing if this is now heat over. Doesn't look like it. Looks like Quincy's got another chance. It's definitely going to be the back roll board off that he's tried the last couple of times. Nope, he's gone for the front roll board off. Double front roll board off. Much better there. And that higher jump allowing Quincy to have a little bit more time in order to get the board back on his feet. The last one he tried, you know, not getting enough height. And he was straight in the drink. But there, you know, another meter or two. And you can see it was a really nice, clean landing.
Looks like we are missing Escobar,
Oh, yeah?
who
Maybe at the back there.
maybe is the
with
one
jet
with the
ski.
kite in the water, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, these foil kites, they're a lot lighter. And, you don't pump them up on the beach. You sort of, they've got holes on the leading edge where the wind comes in and it sort of fills it up like a sort of a parachute as such. And they are very efficient, let's say, when it comes to relaunching on the water. But you don't want to be on the water too long with them because it can get to a point that, especially when it's super, super, super light, as soon as they start getting wet and they get heavy, it becomes really tough to relaunch them. It looks like Alejandro is experiencing that now.
Yeah, so he times out. As I say, I'm not entirely sure how many runs they've had.
Yeah, it seems like they've been going forever.
They seem to be going on forever. Here is Hugo, though. He's got another one. At least we'll get to the end of this sequence. What's he got for us this time?
Yeah, likes to do. He's done most of his tricks actually going this way, left foot forwards. Kite goes up to 12. Back roll. Double back roll with the board off. And again, showing that tornado on the way down. Straight back up onto foil. So he's trying to get rid of that low score and gain a little bit more distance over Lorenzo Casati. That 6 there that he has. He's got 2 6s, let's say. 6.03 and a 6 bang on. So one of those two looking to eliminate.
6.5 from Hugo.
Yeah, it's nice.
But presumably that's in the same family as what he's done before. That's lovely from Lorenzo Casati. Is this a challenge for the victory in this heat? Number 2, it won't matter in terms of who wins or comes second. It is more of an elimination for those in third and fourth.
Yeah, nice to see Lorenzo go a little bit bigger there on the jump. I mean, it's like we said, it's super light and it's tough out there, but he did go quite big.
And that was the last trick of the competition, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah,
Although
7
here
trick
comes
attempts.
Quincy.
He wants to keep going. 7 trick attempts, 3 of them are going to be counting.
So front roll board off, back roll board off. And there's Lorenzo's last score of a 5.93. That will get added to the board, I would have thought.
Yeah, but it's not going to be enough. You can see there 18.30 as a total. But I think, if these guys can get around the 6s, 7s, considering these conditions, that's a good score.
Yeah. As
it stands at the moment. It's the first heat of the day, so what we're seeing really here is setting the tone for the other riders on the beach, probably looking on, as a rider as well, not starting on the first heat, seeing what is scoring, knowing what maybe you want to throw down when your heat comes.
So, 2 minutes now until the next heat, which will be heat number 3. There is the timer. And it is Hugo Wigglesworth and Lorenzo Casati who progress, and we say goodbye to Alejandro Escobar and Quincy Radowski. One minute then before we get into heat number 3 of round 3. Elimination phase here in the men's hydrofoil big air competition. And next on the water is Robbie James, Borja Velon, Francois Caro, and Frederic Shineski. We're going with that. Frederic, a late addition to the entry. Robbie James from Thailand, seeded as 6th seed coming into this competition. The first and second seeds, Lorenzo Casati and Finn Flugel. And there are the faces to the men out on the water. It will be Frederic in green, blue for Francois Caro, yellow for Borja, and red for Robbie. So first to go, the green, looking out for Frederic.
Yeah, there we have Bora. He's going to be third to jump. He's in the yellow lycra. So just looking now for Frederic. And the green flag has just got up. So expecting now Frederic to come into the box. And here we go. Believe that there is the green lycra that we're following from our eyes in the sky.
I think that's yellow from what I can see outside the window. But we have no other kites from our window. So they're either really far left or really far right. But we are waiting for green to enter. And actually, if they are really far away...
Here we go. Here he is, not even out there yet.
Awkward. So he's going to miss potentially the first opportunity because only 40 seconds. And yeah, look at that. 2 seconds gone. So potentially a newbie to the competition. But Frederic missing out on his first attempt. The timer will then flick to blue, and blue right in the middle and might be going early here. Be careful, because blue is in the competition area and comes sweeping past. Now, that is where the big screen is, right? So they are
right in front of him.
It's right in front of him now. If you're too far to the right-hand side of the beach, you may not be able to see it, especially with the sun. So the Frenchman, Francois Caro, then, coming into the center of the competition area, building up for his first trick.
Yeah, let's see how he's going to open up. Is he going to play it safe or go for something quite technical? It just looks like a back roll board off there with an additional back rotation. That's a nice way to open up here. And we get a little close-up replay, which is nice to see. You can see, yep, grabs it by the back handle. Nice smooth landing, and it looks like probably around the 5s, I would say. For that trick, mid-5s. Yeah, 5.47. So Borja. No stranger to competition, was with us in Silt. Okay, kite goes up to 12. Nice little bit of height there from Borja. Not quite straight back up onto foil, so maybe a couple of deductions there from our judge team, but nonetheless, it's a score on the board.
Next up in red will be Robbie James.
Yeah, that's Finn Flugel. He's going to be coming up shortly. Sponsored by Red Bull, as you can see by the helmet. He's definitely going to need the wings today.
No idea where Robbie is. Possibly far right on the beach, unless he hasn't made it out onto the water. Seems to be a running theme across all of our competitions this weekend. And it could be that Robbie gets timed out on this first trick. We do know that we saw Frederic getting into the water a little late, so we do have 3 kites, but it does look like there's only 3 kites out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's Robbie there, and it looks like, if you look, is he on a foil kite? Yes, he is.
But he is timed out.
He's going to be timed out. He's still got 6 more attempts. But still, it's not how you want to be starting off your heat. So 4.97 for Borja, 5.47 for Francois. And now we've returned back into sequence. There we go. There is Frederic, but he needs to get back up onto his foil. There we go. There we go.
Always a little bit of a heart-racing situation when you're a little bit late into the game.
Yeah, it just looks like he's just struggling a little bit in this really light wind, but
at least the big screen is nice and green for him. You can clearly see that it's his time. Oh dear, the kite just scraping the water with his big 15-meter sail. Goes for a trick then.
Yeah, front roll. Went for the triple front. Did he stick it? Sort of a dolphin-like landing, but he was able to get back up onto the foil. He'll be happy with that one. Don't think there was a board off there. Quite hard to see on that angle with the sunlight, but maybe we have another. Yeah, here we go, another view. Perfect stuff. So yeah, there's the front rotation. Yeah, he got the 1 foot, so not the board completely off, but did get that back foot out of the strap. And a little skip and a hop as he came out of that one. That'll be a good score, despite missing the first trick attempt. Yeah, no, 4.3 with the addition of a weird box.
So we roll on to Francois then, the second attempt for him. And at the moment, our current leader after 1 round of tricks. He comes whistling from left to right across the beach. The kite over the sand and over the spectators here in the Barbosa.
Yeah, you can see there, nice front roll with an added rotation, but actually that first front roll nicely inverted. So the judges will like to see that. What we mean by inverted is actually when the foil itself goes like above, you know, your axis of the body on that rotation. So you can do a front roll where you sort of just look over your front shoulder and rotate your body, or, you know, the inversion, sorry, as you'll see here, really gets that foil above his head, nearly sort of slicing his lines. Not something we've seen before, I believe, but it's possible, you know, if you do an inversion front roll and then cut your lines with your foil, that would be an absolute shocker. You wouldn't want that to happen.
2.6 there.
2.6?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was only just one, say, you know, front roll. The inversion, yes, but, you know, there needs to be room. There needs to sort of be those base scores, but also room. You know, if he added a board off, you'd be looking at maybe the 4s or the high 3s. This is, if he can land this will be a good comparison. Because that was exactly the same as Francois with the inversion of a front roll, but that time Bora took the board off. Okay. So if he landed it, we would have seen a real nice comparison with maybe what that would have been. But, you know, we'll never know.
So that's a crash then on attempt number 2 for Borja Velon. Has Robbie James got himself out on the water, looking for the red lycra? Waiting on the score for that last one. And we are hearing that Robbie James has not made it out onto the water. So unfortunately, we are going to have a 40-second hole here whilst we allow Frederick to wind up. Here is Frederick.
That's a shame. It's always good seeing Robbie out there compete. I wonder why. We'll have to find him. We'll have to find him and chase him down. See why he's not out there. Or maybe he will still join.
I mean, Robbie from Thailand, 6th seed, probably one of the more favourites out there with no 3rd and 4th seed appearing. Decent prize money on offer, of course, here in Abu Dhabi. A full 10-day water festival in front of the Fahid Island Beach Club, which is, as of November, it's not even a year old. It was launched last November, or opened last November.
Yeah, years in the making now, isn't it, what they've got planned here?
Shame, really.
Okay, so here we go. 3rd trick attempt for Frederick. Opened up on that 4.3, had a crash for his first. And we saw I think it was a double front roll board off that we saw last time. And he's pretty much going for a very similar trick.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Nice and clean on the landing. It is his first time competing, so I wonder if he's familiar with how the families work. That's the only thing, because if he has done exactly the same trick as he opened up with, he's not going to get an additional score. He's just going to either advance on the 4.3 he has, or we'll see no change there.
So that front roll board off at a 5.8. So actually, the judges liking that more than the previous one.
No, he does tick another family because the first was a front roll 1 foot. So he only took 1 foot off the board. Whereas that time he did a front roll with the whole board coming off.
Nice from Francois Caro. Trick number 3, a little bit of a slow, lazy landing. That's going to really hurt him.
So replay here shows coming in with speed, left foot forwards. Going for the front roll, not as inverted as he was before, but this time he gets the board off and he does a nice extension with the legs there. But like you said, landing a little bit on the sloppy side. But is the only rider with 3 tricks counting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what a way to start your heat.
Frederick missing his first attempt. Borja with a crash last time, so this will only be his second score if he's able to land it. And of course, no Robbie James in this particular heat. Up he goes.
Yep, going for that front roll inverted with a board off and straight back up onto foil. As we saw just out the corner of my eye, I was looking at the booth there. So here we go. You can see Bora coming in. Yep, inversion there and grabs the board off by the back foot strap. Added rotation. Oh, I thought he was going to go for the added rotation, but he didn't. And straight back up onto foil. So that will be another trick scored for him, giving him 3 tricks counting and just shy of a 6. So pretty nice little battle we've got going on our hands between Francois and Bora.
Yeah, nice and tight.
Yep.
The score, all 3 scores nice and tight, although, of course, Frederick and Borja with only 2 on the board. Here's Frederick once again then. We do have to follow the sequence, so we do have that 40-second pause whilst Robbie is supposed to be doing his trick, but he's not out on the water, so not quite Frederick's time yet. He's riding with the UAE flag to his name. Saw that yesterday with the E-foils, lots of dual nationalities, some of which with the competing for the UAE, although with French or Polish or Latvian nationalities as well. Frederick, presumably with a name like that, Czech Republic or Poland origins. It's the problem with the world these days. Says a man who's got a surname from Greece but never lived there, lived in the UK but now lives in France and has an Australian passport. I am probably the worst mongrel of the lot.
And that's a mouthful, that.
Here comes Frederick then, into the competition box. Good speed this time. Building himself up into the air.
Double front roll. Lands it as well. Looked like he was more inverted on his front rotation than he was in the second one. Let's have a look. So here we go, coming in with speed. Front rolls, yeah, inverted there. Yeah, and not as inverted on that second rotation, but still rather nice there for Frederick. And are going to be, yeah, there we go, 13.16 total now. So he's just pushed himself into first place. All right, bit of French touch now, Francois. So that's a triple front roll. And what was nice about that one was on the first rotation, we keep mentioning around the inverted front rolls that we've seen in this heat. You can see that the first front roll wasn't inverted, the second one was, and then the third one, again, wasn't. So a triple front roll there for Francois. Sorry, triple back roll. 3.2.
And that does get scored from Francois then, replacing a score previously, but not quite enough. And the latecomer, Frederick Shineski, at the moment is leading this Heat 3 of round 3. Borja yet to get a third score on the door, though. What can he do with his left front forward now, heading away from the beach? It's quite difficult to see from
Yeah, quite difficult with the light. It looked like it was a back roll board off. So here we go. Borja definitely got the board off. Yep. Back roll with a board off. So that's not going to be anything too big on the scores either. As we're waiting for those to come in, you can see the 3 on the bottom there, showing you who's in first, second, and third. Crowd starting to gather a little bit, 3.93, which does actually increase Borja's score. So so much at stake, actually. This is really tight as we come to the back end of this heat. So we do have 7 trick attempts, 3 count for our riders. And I believe we're sort of, maybe into the last 2 attempts or so. And that's just going to be a front roll there for Frederick. However, he will have that chance again because he actually jumped when Robbie's flag was up. And Robbie is not there.
Some of the athletes do that, don't they? Outside of their competition, 40 seconds, they do try little things. See them popping up out of the water. They do it away from that competition area so that it doesn't distract the judges. But now Frederick should be ready to go. See Borja coming across the beach in front of him, trying to have a look at where we're at. The sun must be, well, the sun goes down actually behind that board, doesn't it, in the evenings? We are local time 4 o'clock, so sunset in about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's actually, sunset's really early here.
But then comes up quite early as well. Here we go. Frederick, can he improve on the 3 scores he's got there already?
Double front roll.
Oh, no.
Crash.
Not this time. He is still qualifying, though. He is still in second position in this heat. His score's better than Francois Caro.
So Francois now coming in right foot forward. You can see the development of the Fahid site there on the left. Moving into our wonderful event setup here on the right. And turns around, decides, no, I want to go left foot forward. So gets the back foot strap in. Now you know he's locked and loaded. Kite goes up to 12. Board off. From the back of the board as well, but no, that's going to be a crash. So not ideal when you're sitting in 3rd place to have a crash at this point in the heat. It's not over yet though, but heat leader now on your screen. It's the lowest score that Borja has. It's at 3.93, which is a back roll board off. So expect to see something very similar here. That's the family he needs to improve.
And with that big screen showing each individual score, as long as they are paying attention to it, they should have a log in their brains of what needs to be improved and what doesn't.
Yeah, the only thing that screen is not showing is the individual trick scores. So it shows their overall trick score at the bottom, but it doesn't actually show their individual trick scores.
But it does come up with that score once you've done it. So they've just got to have a little bit of brain capacity.
Yeah, so you've got to remember it a little bit.
Remember it, yeah. Borja landing that one. There is that screen. There is the village. The athletes' village on the left-hand side. Here's the replay of Borja.
Gets the board off nice and early. Yeah, so he's looking to advance on that 3 point, I think it was 3.93 or something. It's exactly the same trick as he did before. And it doesn't look like it's made any improvements. So
Francois comes across the water, but we should be expecting to see Green next, I would have thought.
Yeah, Frederick next. I had a little bit of inside news as well. Robbie James, he had a pretty nasty cut to his foot. Ooh. So hence why he's not out there.
Can't see Green out on the water. I would expect that it would be Frederick next. And don't forget that Frederick is qualifying. He is second. He had a crash last time. But I reckon, is that him in the water there? There's a kite down in the water in the back of shot.
Yeah, and that looks like it's not going to relaunch either.
Oh, dear.
Oh, maybe it will. The wingtips are still up.
So,
but he's got to get it up quick. He's definitely going to miss his turn.
And Francois dropping into the water there as well. Should get going again. It's Francois next, I would have thought.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Maybe we can have a little look at where the kite is as well at the moment for Frederick. That would be good to see what sort of situation he's in.
But I'm sure now Green is timed out.
Yeah. You can see he's pulling up on the lines, trying to get a bit of tension in the lines to be able to relaunch that kite. But yeah, as soon as it gets down and wet like that, it's really, really tough.
Borja's last trick, by the way, the back roll board off, just a 2.7 for him. So it doesn't improve his score, but he is still leading with a 14.83 total. Francois outside of qualifying at the moment. Here he goes. He needs to get a good score here with only one more attempt after this.
Triple back roll and straight back onto the foil.
Yes.
He's happy with that one as well.
Claims it and has an improvement of just a 3.2. Got a 5.4 in the first one.
Yeah, second rotation as well, inverted. I think that's going to be enough. I mean, what's his lowest score that he has, Francois? It's a 3.2.
Yeah, 3.2.
For a back roll. And that was a triple back roll there.
So here comes Borja Velon across the competition area.
Back roll board off by the front foot strap. Yep, so he knows that he needs to improve on that 3.93, sorry. So he's going, yeah, and Frederick's, it's just not going to happen for him, I think. Unless he's got someone there launching for him.
Still waiting to see what Francois' score is, but it could well be that by sitting in the water there, he is not going to progress. Waiting on the score for Borja.
Yeah, it's going to be.
So it means that Francois' score has already been registered onto that screen and hasn't affected his total. Borja gets a 4.07, so that is an improvement.
And you can see, yeah, it's wet. Leading edge is currently facing down on the water. And that's just not going to be coming back up, I think, in the 40 seconds that he has.
He's still got Robbie James's time, so there's 40 seconds of red and then 40 seconds of yellow, of green. But I think that Francois' score has already been registered. Now, this would be this will be Frederick Sineski's last attempt if he can get that kite flying again.
It's going to be tough now.
But he is still through. He is still second.
He has his stands, yeah, but he probably has no idea that he is. I reckon he's out there having an absolute nightmare, probably screaming and shouting, but he's actually going through at the moment.
I'm surprised by that because Francois' last trick was pretty strong.
Yeah, but we are still. I'm interested to see the score when it comes through on our platform. I haven't quite seen what it is yet. And maybe he's just hit a family that he didn't need to. But 30 seconds left for Frederick. He's still working on getting that kite up, but he's just not moving. He's not going anywhere.
So the pressure is on the Frenchman, Francois Caro. Then we will be seeing him next to go, and he needs to score. He needs to improve by 0.8 of a point on his lowest score. He's got a 3.2 there. He's got a 3.67. So it's totally doable, I think. What is he going to go for? His preferred left to right across the beach. It's got the speed now. Here we go, Liam. Probably the last attempt of this heat.
Left foot forward, coming in with speed. Back roll with the board off. Added rotation. And just about saves it there on the landing. Nice score. It's not going to be anything too big, but maybe we'll increase on that 3.2?
Yes, he had 2 3.2s for the 2 back rolls he's done.
Yeah.
But that with the board off.
Yeah, that's nice. More technicality.
Problem is he had a back roll board off.
Yeah, he's already opened up with it, which was his best trick of the heat.
Yeah, so
5.47.
So that was the wrong one to try, wasn't it?
That's not going to beat that. No chance.
I noticed that Borja Velon is already on the beach, so he is deciding not to go for one last trick. We won't see Robbie James, so that is the end of round number 3, heat number 3. Just waiting on that score for Francois Caro. If we could go to the big screen to see what it is, that would help us greatly. Forget about that yellow, because that is a competitor from the next heat. Although, he goes for another trick. Apologies.
Why not? A little bit of a hand drag on the landing.
That confused me massively. So, yeah, that isn't the athlete that was doing the trick. There's a yellow guy out doing the trick. Borja's already won, and he does get an improvement up to 15.13.
Yeah, this rider here, this is just coming up for the next heat. So these other riders, they're sort of going through that transition process where some riders are now in their last heat, the next riders are going out. So we will now go into a transition phase, and the next heat will be shortly underway.
4.23 for Borja. He does improve. It was a 4.83 for Francois Caro, but Francois with that 5.47 for the same trick on trick number 1 means he does not improve and he does not progress. And would you believe Frederick Chinesky, who missed his first attempt, who crashed in attempt number 5, and then has not had an attempt number 6 or 7 because he's still swimming in the water. He will be going through as second.
Yeah. I wonder if the jet ski's telling him that now. What do you reckon?
Yeah,
Don't worry, mate. You've made it, buddy.
And we can now rescue you.
Yeah, he's going to need to dry that kite off ASAP, though. Good job we're in Abu Dhabi.
Presumably, if the jet ski had interfered and helped him up, then that would have been disqualification, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so, the other option he could have done is, maybe he's got a caddy on the beach flying another kite. You just eject from your kit, swim back to shore, grab the other one, and away you go. But fortunately for Frederick, who, I'm pretty sure he would have no idea at the moment that he's still through.
So we're going into round number 3, heat number 4, the final of our heats. We've got 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining before we kick that one off. Time then for a quick break. Round number 3, heat number 4, the final 4 athletes in the water for our men's hydrofoil big air. And we've got Tino Pekkonen, Joni Saarola from Finland, the 2, and then Tamas Dijk and Finn Flugel, the number 1 seed. Watch out for the Red Bull sponsored rider, because very much likely that German who is going to be in the red is going to be absolutely pushing. There is Finn. He will be going 4th. Tino Pekkonen from Finland. He will be our first athlete to offer us a score. I can see that Tamas Dijk is out there as well. And just seeing if we've got blue out there on the water as well. Joni Saarola. There he is. So all 4 athletes in the water. By the way, the water is about 30 degrees. It is like a bath. It really is stunning as the sun starts to come down around this Fahid Island. It's going to be an Aldar Properties development, a very well-known developer in the area and proud sponsor. And I don't know, are we waiting on a score from Green? Maybe he's missed his opportunity. I thought he had at least 2 minutes, although they are seemingly having some issues with this screen because those competition. Yes, he has missed it, his 40 seconds. So that's a bit annoying. Let's move over to Joni Saarola. And here comes the second Finn in the competition, whistling into the competition area. And let's see what he's got for us. Something pretty complex already to kick off his 7 attempts. The first trick on the board then after Tino missing his opportunity to run.
Waiting on scores here.
Tamas Deek the next to go, but we are waiting on the scores from the previous athlete. Tamas coming across the competition area. We'd be expecting to go by now. It's taking a while for the score to come in. There we go, 6.1. That's a good first score for Joni Sarola.
Yeah, nice way to open up there, 6.10. Two of the Finnish boys came here together, actually, Juni and Tino. Big name in this heat as well, Finn Flugel. But right now it's Tamas. The foot forward, what have we got? Back roll with the board off. And yeah, nice double back roll there. Was that a claim there at the end as well?
It was a bit of a slow landing, though. Not quite the cleanest.
Yeah, not much height either, you see here. We can sort of use that, let's say, the horizon of the land for our height mark, let's say, in these conditions.
Oh, maybe I was a bit unfair. There was it looked like it stalled out a little bit more from above, but not too bad.
Okay, so now Finn, expect a lot of technicality here with Finn. One of the top freestyle riders on the twin tip division as well. He's here doing both Hydrofoil Big Air and the freestyle competition. You can see there with the Red Bull helmet. So you got to know something good is coming. So front roll with the board off. Nice board flip as well. Gets it back on, nice and smooth. And straight back up onto foil for Finn.
Making it look pretty easy. Our #1 seed. Two similar scores, and quite high scores actually, compared to what we saw in heat #3 for Joni and Tamas. Let's wait to see what the judges thought of Finn Flugel. If they're giving 6s to the other two, that surely is going to be better. 6.73, not remarkably better, but still, looks like we're going to in for a high-scoring heat #4 here.
Yeah, you got to leave a little bit of room for margin.
Now, Tino Pekkonen. Next up. Struggled to get out on the water, so he missed his first trick attempt. Still don't actually see him close to the box. Is this now him coming in from looker's right to left? It's not, is it? There he is. But not in the box yet. He's a little bit behind, but maybe we'll have enough time to get into the box and to get this trick done. Having to squint into the sun.
There we go, back roll. Don't know if he got the board off there, or if it was a 1 foot, or if it was neither. But yeah, the whole landing is a little bit messy there. Might even go down as a crash, but let's just watch that one on replay here. So back roll into, yep, managed to go. We wanted the rodeo, but I don't count that as a rodeo because he kept hold of the board. You know, when they put the board between their legs and then they want to have that other hand come off, you know, that is a rodeo. But when you keep your hand on the board, you know, judges are going to not reward it, let's say, as much as letting it just sit between your legs. Kusati family there on the right. Wait, let's see. I'm interested to see what score they'll put here. Maybe around the 3s.
Yeah, 3.67.
Yeah, perfect.
So disappointing first score, second attempt for Tino. It was a good first score, front roll board off for Joni Sarola.
Look at the ski goggle look.
I think you need it when you're going into the sun here.
Yeah, it's pretty bright, isn't it? It's like got a hazy look to it as well sometimes. So it like looks a little bit foggy. But here we go, back roll, board off by the tail of the board. With a slightly uncontrollable landing there, however, does land it. Looks like he tried to, maybe was going into an accidental out of rotation.
And he has actually sunk down as well.
But it was a rewind, I believe, on that rotation.
Gets back up and going again, saves the kite. We're waiting on the score for the judges to try and work out what that was. 4.13 comes in.
It's a score on the board. But Tamas here had opened up with a 6.20. So he's going now onto his second trick attempt. Here we go, 40 seconds.
That's been judged as a back row board off. Back row board off for Joni.
So left foot forward now for Tamas. It seems to be his preferred choice. Front roll. No, wanted the board off, but just a front roll there. So it will be scores, but it's not going to be high. Okay, Finn. Let's see what you have in store for us here on your second trick attempt.
First one was a front roll tic-tac.
Yeah.
Scoring a 6.73. And the same family as the board offs.
Yeah, 2.13 there for that front roll. Okay, so here we go, Finn. Left foot forwards. I think it could be, yeah, the front roll with the board off, with the added rotation. So he's ticking another family there with the board off. He's ticked the tic-tac family as well, both doing the same rotation and looking to improve on that 6.70. Looking into this one a bit more depthly here. You can see there, really, when you're initiating those front rotations, you can see what Finn does. He really looks over his shoulder in the direction that he wants to go. And really pulling on the bar as well, which is looping that kite above him, which can give you that little bit of extra lift, but also that, you know, you've just got general control when you're down looping the kite. And we go back in sequence now. Third trick attempt out of the 7. Reminder, if you've just tuned in, it's the top 2 that make it through. If you win the heat, you go through to round number 5. If you lose, you still have a second chance in round number 4, which will be head-to-head, before returning back to 4-man heats in round number 5.
Tino Pikkonen missing out on his second attempt.
No, he can't afford that.
Where is he? He's obviously just nowhere near the window. He probably can't see the screen. So we'll move on then. There he is. And coming into the view of the screen, but he's too late, I'm afraid. So we now move on to blue, to Joni Sawala. And Joni is actually heading towards the beach. He's in front of the other 2 athletes. I thought for a second there might be a cross of kites there, but he is coming towards us now. This is preferred angle, not
Back
much
roll,
height.
yeah, no, just a quick back roll 1 foot there. Looked like he pressed the fast forward button on that one. But I think that's going to go down as a crash for sure.
Yeah, and back in the water again. These athletes really struggling with this light breeze. It is supposed to be better as the week progresses. Forecast was saying it would only be about 6 knots. And so that's why we're all on 15-meter kites.
Yeah, we're on the big stuff.
And so a no score for Joni. To yellow then, and to Tamas for his third score.
Yeah, here we go, right foot forwards. Needing that speed. And it's a back roll with a 1 foot. And just a single back roll with a 1 foot there. So taking another family, I believe. Yep, he's done the back roll board off, which is what he opened up with, his highest trick of the heat so far for Tamas. And now he's done the 1 foot. So he'll be the first rider actually with 3 scores counting towards his overall. But we do have Finn next, who has 2 good solid scores, 2 scores in the 6s. He's done the board off, he's done the tic-tac family. Maybe he's going to go for a back roll or sort of a back rotation of some sort now. He's actually riding toe sides coming in here. But wouldn't be surprised if he just done the old U-turn and goes back out left foot forward.
Not sure he's got quite the window to do his trick yet, so does turn around and head back away from us. This is more conventional for Finn.
Yeah, here we go.
Third trick attempt then.
Front roll, 1 foot. Looked like a triple front there with added rotations.
But doesn't get the landing there. We'll score it. It wasn't a full crash,
no,
was it?
It will score. I always find it quite how quick they're able to initiate that tornado effect.
It does come in as a
Yeah,
3.03. Still leads 60.06 the total from his 3 attempts. Tamás Dék from Hungary is second at the moment with Joni Sárla. In theory, if he can get a third score on the board, should be up to second position. We'll have to wait and see. Tino Pekkonen missing out on 2 attempts so far, timed out, but he's in a better position this time. Just having to work a bit harder on getting himself into the box. Not much time left. Here he comes now. He's going to have to put in a trick with his right foot forward. Oh no, the kite's in the water. And is he going to be able to recover that?
Oh,
no, he's not.
No, launch it.
And he's in
He's safe. He's going to be safe, but he's got to launch it soon.
He's also in the competition area, and now the kite folds down into the water. And that's not great for him, but it's also not great for the competition either if that stays there for a while, because nobody else really will be wanting to do a trick around him.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, though, watching him here in this situation about, relaunching, how that relaunching process is going with these foil kites. You can see it's not quite there yet, but he's looking in a much better position. He's got tension now in the lines. You can see he's just sort of pulling on them and letting them release, pulling on them, letting them release. Kite's now back up in the sky. It's not full of wind, though.
Meanwhile, Joni Sárla is the next athlete to go. I imagine that the judges have put a small hold on his window to allow Tino to get out of the competition area. And there he is. Now the kite flying again. Now he just needs to get out of the competition area and we can continue. We're about halfway through round number 3, heat number 4. 30 seconds on. And I can tell you that Joni's disappeared out the back, so he needs to get a wiggle on if he wants to get back into the square, which is a little bit naughty, but considering Joni is sort of in there and still slightly struggling. Here he comes now, Joni Sárla. For 4th attempt, he crashed on his last one, has to go early.
Yeah, an inverted front row with the board off.
Stayed on the foil as he landed.
It's going to be the one he's been missing.
Let's see what the judges think of that. Could well put him up into second position. He only needs a point to do so.
Yeah, that's going to do it.
And with that nice clean landing, the board didn't go in the water. He stayed on the foil. We should see Joni progress if we were to finish the competition now, but we still have 3 attempts for everybody. Taking a while for the judges to decide. 14.5. A 4.27. Now to Tamás Dék. Tamás is looker's left coming across the beach with his left foot forward. His worst score, a 2.13 for a front roll. Should be able to improve on that one.
Yeah, you'd think so. Yeah, he's gone for the front roll, inverted with the board off. And just struggling to get that front foot back in the strap. So that's going to be a crash.
No improvement then from Tamás. We move on to Finn once more.
Yeah, so Finn, I mean, they have scored at the 1.5, but
okay.
Yeah, you can forget about that. He'll have plenty of chances to improve there. Finn there with the front roll 1 foot. That's his lowest score as it stands.
Now, Finn was actually in the water right in the middle of the competition area just a second ago. Not too much of a problem for him. He carries on.
You can see here as well, Finn's riding with the long leash, which is what the freestylers tend to use to be able to pass the bar around their bodies if they ever want to go for a handle pass. And again there, Finn showing why he's the man to beat in this heat. Will further on that low score he has. Good to just watch that one back again. As we wait for the scores, you can see that 16.06 at the bottom right-hand side. That's Finn's total score as it stands without that trick. And we just wait patiently. 11.23 is your 3rd place, 14.5 for Johnny in second. And at the moment, Tino needing a lot of work to do. At least the wind is still here, though. It's not windy, is it, by any means, but at least they're able to get a little bit of action on the way here.
4.87 then improves Finn's score to 17.9. There is Tino Pekkonen. Only one score on his board. He's had 3 timeouts, and this could well be a 4th timeout because he is only just on the water, just beside the beach. I think the kite is flying, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's flying. He's just really struggling to get up on foil. I think he's one of the, let's say, slightly heavier guys in this heat and in these lighter conditions.
He's going to miss out again.
It's super stuff. You sort of essentially you want to continue and ride out the back of the area, stay up on foil, and then when it's your turn, you can easily just come straight into the heat area and do your trick.
Frustrating for the world's best in big air to be in these situations. They're not used to riding in such light conditions. Big air is all about the massive winds and huge jumps. Far more technical today. We move on to Joni Saarela then, who at the moment sits in second position. We've got 3 more attempts to go for him. Lowest score, 4.13. Oh, he goes down the water.
Oh, he's skipping along now.
And he might get timed out here. He's quite close to the competition area.
Yeah, he's got to go. He's got 10 seconds.
Oh, he's now in it. Okay, so he can go.
Yeah, he's good to go. Just needs a bit more speed.
What's he going to line up for here?
There you go. Directs the cut up to 12 o'clock. Front roll, triple, 1, 2, 3. Whoa, let's look at him go.
He went for something pretty insane there. Didn't carry it off. Possibly lost comprehension of where he was. And so, I mean, he needs to do something decent because he's got a 6, a 4.1, and a 4.2 out there.
Yeah, he went for a wild front roll there and just went for as many rotations as he possibly could. I believe that might have been 7 rotations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, he wanted the 8.
Epic. And Tamas already in the air. He's gone early.
Yeah, and landed as well. It'd be good to see what that move was.
A quick replay of that one.
Here we go. It looked like it was a front rotation of some sort. Watch it be a back rotation, I bet you. No, I've said that. No.
Front rotation.
Verted front roll. Board off. That's a nice move. So front roll board off from Finn was a 6.3.
He's got a front roll scored at a 2.13 for Tamas. Finn's up in the air as well. Coming thick and fast now. And just about holds that one. Probably not the big scores that we saw earlier on from Finn.
Yeah, he wants that 4.87 bumped up. The 2 6s that he's got are nice scores. Front roll.
And he's actually looking across to the big screen to see exactly what it was scored at. Still waiting to see what Tamash's last score was. And yeah, Tamas has been upgraded to a 13.8. So it was a 4.73 for his front roll board off and a 7.33 for Finn Flugel. That's the best of the day.
Yeah. I'd like to have a look at the total heat score from Hugo in that first round number 1 of heat number 3. Wonder what Hugo got. And then we can compare the two.
It's 21.57 from Hugo.
Okay, there. So Hugo's still, let's say, the man to beat when it comes to the overall score, but Finn putting the best individual trick score down so far.
Tino Pekkonen looking more and more unlikely to progress through here. Remember, just 2 go through, 2 are knocked out. We're focusing our attention on Joni Saarela, who is whistling, I thought coming towards the competition area, but he is not. He's turned away from it now because we still have that 40 seconds for Tino Pekkonen, who is not out on the water. And therefore, certainly we're going to miss out on one Finn going through, but will Tamas be able to get a better and improve that 2.9 from him to get himself ahead of Joni Saarela? It's Saarela who'll go next. 2 more attempts remain.
Okay, so here we go. Coming in now, right foot forwards.
Back roll board off was his lowest score of 4.13.
Well, you'd expect him to then try and tick that box and up that. Coming in now, kite goes up to 12. No, he's gone for the front roll. Double front roll with the board off and followed by a crash.
No landing.
Yeah, needing more heights. You know, if you want to add in that second rotation, especially when you need when you get the board off, you just need a little bit more height going into these moves. But you know, like we can see, it's also quite light out there. So it's trying to find the balance and the compromise with, you know, what we can actually see these riders perform, what tricks we can dial in.
Tino Pekkonen back up on his board there. Score came in for Joni, but I don't think it was any better than he's previously managed. So Tamás, the Hungarian, is next. He likes to have left foot forward, and so comes across the beach in front of the crowd, in front of us, and then in front of the judges.
Okay, so looking like a good amount of speed here. Needs a good pop, back roll with the 1 foot, with the additional rotation.
Oh, slightly stalls out.
Yeah, but that's nice though.
Got it going again.
You know, that's all that can be done there on that trick. The back roll into the with the 1 foot by the back foot. Yep, good extension there, showing good control. Adds in the additional rotation, spots his landing. And yeah, like you said, not quite back up onto foil straight away, but, you know, good enough.
Finn Flugel absolutely has control over this fourth heat, but he's going to go again. 18.5 is his score. Difficult to see. Oh, he goes
crash
down.
There for Finn. Skips out of it on the landing.
Bit of a smile on his face. One more trick remaining for everybody. Tino Pekkonen is scored out, having missed most of this session. He is back on his foil. He is back up on the water. Here's Finn's attempt.
Front roll board off with additional 2 front rolls.
Pekkonen then, can he redeem himself and at least get a second score on the board? A back roll board off is the only score of a 3.67. Here he goes.
It's a board off frenzy, isn't it, at the moment?
And unfortunately, doesn't land that, so no score, and we say goodbye to Tino Pekkonen. Yep. So will it be Joni Sarola? Will it be Tamás Dík who will be eliminated? Look how close their scores are. 4.5 for Sarola, 14.83 for Dík. There is 0.33 in it, and Sarola then needs something big for his last run here. Watch out for the blue. Where is he?
Okay, here we go. So if he crashes here, we know who's going through.
Got to improve on that back roll board off of the 4.13. 2 crashes his last 2 attempts.
Third time lucky then. Is that what they say normally?
Let's see. Into the competition area he comes.
Okay, kite goes up to 12. It's a front rotation. Looks like he maybe just got 1 foot out there.
Oh!
And it's a crash.
Got an extra bit of elevation halfway through that attempt, which may or may not have caught him off guard. There was good control, and that means that Tamás Dík, even if whatever he does in this last one, will be going through with Finn Flugel through into the semi-finals.
This is like a victory trick then. But I probably doesn't know that he's actually through with it being so close. So here we go, last trick of the heat here for Tamás. Front roll. Looks like he's gone for 5 front rolls there, but 1 too many. And that's a crash for him. So Finn Flugel now with his last trick attempt at the heat, already through in first place, going through to round number 5. This one, he's in the lead as well.
Amazing to think he got a 6.73, but he improved that score to a 7.33 with his tic-tac. Also has a front roll 1 foot as his lowest score. That's the 4.87. See what he does. He knows that he is already number 1 in heat number 4.
And a crash.
A celebratory swim.
Yeah, he wait for the same trick as he did on the last attempt, where he sort of skipped out of it, crashed that one. Looks like he had a couple more rotations there, but then, yeah, crashing his last trick attempt. But it won't matter. He'll still go through in first place with Tamas in second.
So that is it for our round number 3. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and we will be back with round number 4. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Fahid Island here in Abu Dhabi, an Eldar Properties development and the home of the final stop for many of our competitions here. The GKA KITE World Tour Big Air Hydrofoil competition is done and dusted for today. The wind peak has peaked.
Yeah, it certainly has.
And we are coming close now to the end of the day. The sun will be coming down, the wind will be coming down. But Liam, we are expecting more and better conditions across the rest of the week.
Yeah, we know as well here at this location, we do have a little pocket and the window of wind that tends to come through around 1 o'clock in the afternoon and can last for around that 3-hour mark. But yes, conditions, they were slightly on the marginal side, but I do think the action that we saw was good. You know, we saw plenty of front roll, board off rotations, and it would definitely went down more of the technicality route, which is always good to see. But yeah, like you said, there's still plenty of days ahead. We've got plenty more competition to go. It's not just the hydrofoil. We've also got the freestyle GKA and some wing foil free fly slalom. And yeah, still 6 days and wind hopefully on the way.
Expecting our women's and men's semi-final and final tomorrow. And then we can focus our attention on other disciplines offered here for a 9-day water sports festival here in Abu Dhabi. Join us again tomorrow. Bye-bye.